Hey folks, you're watching Archetype Man channel. I'm Nick. We're out today taking a look at the Charter Arms Undercover 38 Special. Now this Charter Arms is nothing remarkable on the surface. We have a 5-shot 38 Special. This one is the Undercover and very cool looking. Chances are you have probably seen one of these out at gun stores near you. So we're going to go ahead and shoot it here. I'm going to load it up with some wad cutters. These are some copper plated wad cutters, and I think they're 158 grain if I recall. We're just going to see what we get on some steel. We are at 15 yards. We'll do them double action like the good Lord intended and see what we get. Oops, there we go. So is that 3 out of 5? That's 60%, right? Let me do another one of those and see what we get this time. So the Charter Arms is an affordable 38 Special. Now if you've shot one or used one, you'll note that it is a pretty no frills design. This is not going to compete with the Performance Center Smith or anything like that, but I think it's serviceable. We're gonna see here. Let's do these single action because somebody will ask, and we have an external hammer. I typically am worse shooting revolver single action. Man. Apparently much worse. So 20% accuracy on that. Now I will note, right off the bat, these are not loaded spicy by any means. These are loaded, well, they're target loads. I didn't load them very hot at all. And the gun is jumping around quite a bit for me. And that being said, why don't we make things a little bit more realistic here and ease on up to 10 yards, and I'll turn the steel a little bit. All right, now we're at 10 yards. That steel is angled away. Hopefully you can see here what we get. That's good. Pulled that one. Oh, bad flinch there. But we're gonna pretend like y'all didn't see that. Oh, let's see. Put some more in here. So this is not my gun. This is a friend's revolver who cautioned me that the trigger is a bit stiff. I have definitely shot guns with worse triggers. I've shot guns with better triggers. I'm going to really focus on these next 5 on feeling the trigger to see if it's as bad as he says it is. So it's not a competition trigger. I don't think anybody would try to tell you that it was. Do I think it's serviceable? I do. Now you'll have to take my word for it today because there's no cardboard backers here, and I apparently used the last one that I had in the truck bed, so we're shooting steel. But we're going to up the ante a little bit. I'll turn the camera so you can see downrange. We're going to shoot at a smaller target, and then we'll do a close-up on the gun itself. All right, we're going to be shooting for the little circular target to the right of the steel silhouette right there. Let's see what we get. 5 rounds. 1, 2. Flinch check. It wasn't as bad, but still not completely neutral. All right, let's take a close-up look at this gun. All right, so here we are in all its glory. It's clear. The grips are pretty comfortable. My pinky does dangle, which if you've watched me for a while, and I hope you have, and if you are new, I hope you consider subscribing. But I prefer to have my pinky up on the grip. This was just shy, and it does tend to roll under recoil. Coming over, it's like shooting a J-frame Smith. So I have a Smith & Wesson Model 36 that I should probably have brought out to kind of do a side-by-side, but they're similar in size. This is lighter. It feels that way. This feels lighter to me. The width or girth of the grip is very comfortable for me. Even getting kind of high up on it, the hammer never does actually come back and do anything. Even cocked, I can do that. So that's cool. Your cylinder release is a push forward, like so. Very similar to a Smith. Ejector rod operation, perfect. You have a ramp front sight, which is steel and blends in with the rear. So that's your sight picture there. Hopefully the camera will pick up on that, but just a notch and ramp front sight. And there, that's what you get right there, which is part of the problem for me shooting this. There's not much contrast on the front, but it's serviceable. It is bright out today too. So these are made in Stratford, Connecticut. While these guns have a reputation for being affordable, some may even say cheap, I think that for all the lack of finesse that these guns have, they're built to be reliable, if nothing else. I'm not just basing that off of shooting this particular revolver. I've shot a couple other Charter Arms, and I'm always left with this is the no frills, bare bones for self-defense. I think they would perform well in that role. That being said, there are some features that if you are dead set on having, you're going to have to pay more and go with a different brand. We've got 3 steel silhouettes. I'm going to pretend they're bad guys here, and we have 5 rounds. Let's see how many hits I can get. Well, the third bad guy got me. So this is one of those areas where if you are in the revolvers don't have enough ammunition camp, you'd be right in that situation with that performance anyhow. But we're going to try it again because I have more 38, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend like he's trying to figure out what the hell just happened. All right. Oh no, his friends are getting up. So that would have done for John Lennon. At any rate, we're gonna go ahead. Let's see here, how many more I got in my pocket. I think what we're gonna do next, I want to do next is just get super ridiculous with it, and we'll go back to the 50-yard mark, and I will allow myself the use of single action for this. All right, so there is a steel silhouette, right above my finger. That's what we're gonna be shooting at. We're gonna try our best anyway. I'm gonna see what I can do, if I can even see it. I don't have my good peepers on today, so we'll see. No way. All right, we're done. We are done. Let's try that again. Nope. That's 2. 3. 4. 4 out. Make it make sense, guys. 4 out of 5. Nah. Let's see how many more we got. We got to try double action now. If I've got enough for a full cylinder, I do. All right. I'm not going to say my friend's name because he's private, but I'm going to tell him that it ain't the gun. I'm just kidding. He's an outstanding shooter. All right. Well, we'll see if we can do that again. What was it? 4 out of 5 single action at 50 yards. Let's see if we can get the same double action at 50 yards. Nope. Nope. All All right, that's one. The second one doesn't count because I missed the steel silhouette and hit the little 6-inch circle. So it was a hit, but that might have been an innocent that we hit. So the Charter Arms Undercover, worth it? I'd say that if you don't have a compact revolver and you're in the market for a J-frame size gun, a small 5-shot 38 special, if you don't want to jump in and dump a lot of money right off the bat, this might be worth checking out. I will also say motorcyclists, especially cruisers, say that if you can learn to ride a Harley Sportster, you can probably ride anything. I will say that if you can shoot this well, other guns are going to come a little bit easier, make you appreciate them just a little bit more. It's not that this is a bad gun, it's just not quite as polished. The trigger is just not quite as smooth. Even my Ruger LCR X, it's got more of a rolling smooth trigger, whereas this feels a little bit gritty, makes you work for it just a little bit more than some other triggers that I've tried. That being said, does it work? Sure. I got some decent hits, and you've seen just about all the rounds that I have through this. So I think with some work and practice, it may be some different ammo. This is the only ammo I brought out in 38 Special, apparently. I thought I had some lead round nose, so we've been shooting wad cutters, which would actually make an excellent carry load for this. If you're not familiar with the wad cutter for self-defense concept, that concept is basically just that round nose projectiles tend to push tissue aside and may over penetrate. Hollow points, which in best case scenario expand and then disrupt more tissue, don't quite run the same risk of over penetration, but those hollow points are predicated on having enough of velocity to get them to expand. That's how they work. In certain calibers, especially when you go to short barrels, the chances of hitting those velocity thresholds to get the expansion is probably just not going to happen. 38 Special is one such caliber. So the idea is that you trade the questionable FMJ-like performance of a non-expanded hollow point for a flat, sharp-shouldered projectile like a wad cutter, and you end up with more tissue disruption as opposed to pushing it to the side, and adequate penetration to hit vitals. But typically these aren't pushed at such velocities that you run the risk of over penetration. Obviously none of this stuff is 100% this will do this in this environment. There's too many factors between people being built differently, bone structure, bone density, distance, weather conditions, all those affect terminal ballistic performance. But I do think the wad cutter in a compact revolver makes a lot of sense, and this would be an excellent candidate to carry with those. Now typically they're softer recoiling. These are actually recoiling quite a bit for me. I don't know if it's because I'm spoiled shooting 32 here lately. I've been shooting a lot of 32 long out of my SP101 and Ruger LCR X, so I'm not sure if that's what's going on, but I was definitely a little bit more recoil sensitive today than I have been in the past. And it may be this gun, might be that ammo, might just be that I ran a chainsaw earlier today for an hour or two. So your mileage may vary. My final thoughts on the Charter Arms Undercover 38 Special is that it is an American-made, budget-minded revolver that certainly punches above the weight class of the money that I've seen it go for. I think that in terms of style points, it pretty ubiquitous looking, and you first glance you might mistake it from that side as a J-frame Smith. When you go over to the other side, that cylinder release is going to give it away that that's not what you're looking at. That being said, it's been reliable, and from the little bit of rounds that you've seen me put through it today, it has been reliable. It's gone bang each time. These were loaded with, I think these were the Serbian small pistol primers. They're not the softest primers in the world. I've had guns choke on them before, and they worked fine. So let me know your thoughts. What has your experience been like with Charter Arms? Do you recommend them? If so, why? If not, also why? Don't just say yes or no. Tell us why. We need to know. To my channel members and Patreon supporters, thank you so much for everything that you do to help financially support the channel and contribute. That means more than I could adequately put into words, but I'm trying anyway. If you would like to support the channel and either of those options sounds good to you, there's going to be links down in the description. It's never something you have to do, but it's there if you'd like to. The best non-financial way to support the channel is through your likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions. All of that helps me. So if you found this content useful, please consider giving me a like. If you'd like to see more firearms content, please consider subscribing. As always, folks, stay safe, try to get to the range, and I'll see you next time.